Greetings once again, fellow warlords. And there's a very important message for you. Be careful not to be found by my army. Huh? Anyway. Malgantai. I think there's some exceptional ore there. More importantly, blacksmith. Are you connecting the dots yet? Anyway, more importantly, Liu Zhang has betrayed us. And now he has joined the rebels. Hanzong's army. Hanzong, not the Hanzong we met very early on. And I think it's all a plot. But speaking of plot, there's Ma Xiao. Ma Xiao, as you remember, was guarding this castle. But instead, he's going to guard us. Wait, he has less soldiers than he did. I think he's a tiger. He's great! Bad puns aside. Oh yeah, Ma Dai also joined me. But he's in reserve. And yeah, I put Wei Yan in reserve too. Just because he has the lowest amount of soldiers and he's not going to get any more. But more importantly, let's continue on. Yes. Okay, we won't continue on. We'll beat up this fool, Wu Lan. Now that we have 5 mighty warlords at our front, we should have no problems defeating all these rebels. Remember, we're just walking away. And yeah, we hadn't gone in one for a while. But yep, it's another cave. Another dungeon. I don't have the map for this currently, so if I get lost and wander about, I will edit as necessary. But there's some very nice items in here. And there's also fools like Yan Yan. So, now is probably a good time to use smoke bombs. Because 1, I don't know where I'm going. And 2, I don't get screwed. Because this mountainous cave has more than one level. It has several levels. And who knows, we might find something useful in it. Speaking of which, could this be that mountain? Nah. By the way, get more smoke pot. It might be valuable in your future. Speaking of valuables in your future, it's iron ore. Ooh! Could that ore be usable for new weapons? Yes, indeed. But for now, take some more of that wacky stuff and use it as an item. I do not advocate drugs. I advocate avoiding your enemies. I like the cave music too, especially when it goes into its later choruses. Speaking of choruses, you can't sing very well with a pot in your mouth. And that's the way out. There was a middle path, and I'm sure it probably has some valuable items, but I got what's important. Speaking of important, further west we go to take out these rebels, to take out these traitors jerks. So let's use our smoke screen and beat up some more traitors jerks in this encampment. Didn't we meet you earlier? He's not important. However, the 2 below him are a bunch of loos. And Liu Zhang. Oh my. Traitors, families aside, and considering these guys don't have any dangerous tactics, and no, we are not near a river again. Let's just all at them. What's the worst that could happen? Non-grinding. You don't have to do very much extra battles. If you fight along the way, the levels will do themselves, usually. This might Zugin. Mayan Zugi. He's waiting for us at the final showdown in Chengdu Castle. Because he's a jerk, that's why. Indeed, ma'am. I have iron ore. But that's not the point. A bunch of people are searching for ore. I found it rather easily. I didn't even have to mine for it. Because it's not yours, it's mine. Bad puns aside, let's see if we can get some treasure. That is a battle axe. And we know who is getting that battle axe? Yep. Could it be Zhang Fei? It could be Zhang Fei. Or Mao Chao might decide to steal it from him and equip it to himself. Mao Chao and Zhang Fei were never really friends, but they admired each other nonetheless. Speaking of nonetheless, since we still have all our tactic points, let's move on. Speaking of moving on, is the final countdown. But first, it's Laitong and Wulan. Somewhat powerful, but yeah. Historically at this point, I lost a very important general. Or rather, Liu Bei did. He lost one of his tacticians. I'll give you one guess who it was. Nah, it couldn't have been him. Yes, it was. But we get to keep him in this game. That's what's important. Speaking of what's important, let's use some Elixir C's. And Elixir B's if I have to prepare for the battle against Liu Bei's jerk brother, Liu Zhang. One moment.